Simple Tales presents Jason and the Golden Fleece, a Greek myth. What if your rightful throne could only be won by stealing a golden treasure from a distant kingdom? A treasure guarded by a serpent that never slept. Not gold, not jewels. A fleece. And to reach it, you would have to sail beyond the edge of the known world. This is the story of Jason and the Golden Fleece. Long ago in Iolcus, Jason returned home. He had been raised far from the palace, but he never forgot who he was. He was the son of Aeson, the rightful king. Yet his uncle Pelias had taken the throne, and Pelias had heard an old prophecy. Beware the man wearing one sandal. One day, Jason came to the city. While crossing a river, he lost one sandal. He arrived wearing only one. When Pelias saw him, his heart filled with fear. The prophecy had come true, but Pelias could not simply kill Jason. The people would never accept it. So he gave him a task that seemed impossible. "Bring me the Golden Fleece," Pelias said. "Then I will give you the throne." Far away in Colchis hung the fleece of the magical ram. Long before Jason was born, the ram had carried Phrixus and his sister Helle away from danger. During the flight, Helle fell and was lost. Phrixus reached Colchis safely. There he sacrificed the ram to Zeus and gave its fleece to King Aeetes. Aeetes placed the fleece upon an ancient oak in a sacred grove. Then he ordered a monstrous serpent to guard it. The creature was enormous. Its coils surrounded the tree. Its eyes never closed. It never slept. No one had ever dared to take the fleece. Pelias was certain Jason would never return. But Jason accepted. He had a great ship built. Its name was the Argo. Then he gathered many of the greatest heroes of Greece. Heracles, famous for his strength. Castor and Polydeuces, the twin brothers. Orpheus, whose music could charm beasts and soothe the sea. Zetes and Calais, the winged sons of the north wind. Together they became known as the Argonauts. The Argo left Iolcus. On their way, they found blind King Phineus. He was starving. Whenever food was placed before him, monstrous harpies swooped from the sky. They stole his meals and spoiled what remained. The Argonauts promised to help. Zetes and Calais spread their wings and chased the harpies across the mountains. The creatures fled. At last, the goddess Iris appeared. She promised the harpies would never trouble Phineus again. The old king could finally eat in peace. And in return, he gave Jason a warning. Ahead lay the clashing rocks. Two enormous cliffs at the entrance to the Black Sea. They crashed together whenever a ship tried to pass. No vessel had ever crossed safely. "Release a dove," Phineus told Jason. "If it survives, follow it." Jason released the bird. It flew toward the cliffs. The rocks began to move. Then, crash! The cliffs slammed together, but the dove shot through. Only a few tail feathers were caught. Jason shouted one word, "Row!" The Argonauts pulled with all their strength. The Argo raced forward. Stone thundered around them. The cliffs slammed behind the ship. The stern was torn apart, but the Argo burst through. They had survived the clashing rocks. At last, Jason and the Argonauts reached Colchis. They went before King Aeetes. Jason asked for the Golden Fleece. Aeetes had no intention of giving it to him. Instead, he offered a challenge. "Yoke my 2 bronze-hoofed bulls," he said. "They breathe fire. Plow a field with them. Then sow it with these dragons' teeth." Jason knew the task was impossible. But Aeetes had a daughter, Medea. She was a priestess of Hecate, skilled in herbs, magic, and ancient spells. And when Medea saw Jason, she fell in love with him. The goddess Hera wanted Jason to succeed. So Aphrodite sent her son Eros. His arrow struck Medea's heart. Suddenly, she found herself torn between 2 worlds. Jason was a stranger. Worse, he was her father's enemy. If she helped him, she would betray her family. If she refused, Jason would almost certainly die. All night, Medea struggled between love and loyalty, between desire and shame. At last, she made her choice. She would help Jason. She came to him secretly and gave him a magical ointment. "Rub this over your body, shield, and weapons," she warned. "For one day, fire will not burn you, bronze will not cut you." Then she revealed another secret. "When you sow the dragon's teeth, armed warriors will rise. Do not fight them all. Throw a stone among them. They will turn against one another." The next morning, Jason entered the field. The bronze bulls charged. Fire poured from their mouths. Jason stood his ground. The first bull struck him like a charging mountain. But Medea's magic protected him. Jason seized its bronze horns. With all his strength, he forced the beast to the ground. Then he did the same to the second. He yoked them both and plowed the field. Aeetes watched in disbelief. Jason scattered the dragon's teeth. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the earth moved. Hands broke through the ground. Then arms. Then helmets. Armed warriors rose surrounding Jason. They raised their swords. Jason picked up a heavy stone and threw it among them. "Who threw that?" one warrior shouted. "You did," another answered. A sword flashed. Soon, the warriors were fighting one another. By sunset, not one remained standing. Jason had completed every task. But Aeetes had never intended to honor his promise. That night, he ordered his men to prepare an attack. They would burn the Argo and kill the Argonauts. Medea overheard the plan. There was no more time. She found Jason. "Tonight," she whispered, "we take the fleece." She led him through darkness to the sacred grove. There stood the ancient oak, and hanging from its branches was the Golden Fleece. Even beneath the night sky, it glowed like captured sunlight. But beneath the tree lay its guardian, the monstrous serpent. Its body coiled around the roots. Its eyes were open. Medea stepped forward. She called upon Hecate, whispered ancient words, and sprinkled enchanted herbs. Her voice became softer. The serpent's movements slowed. Its great head sank. Its eyes finally closed. For the first time, the guardian slept. Medea looked at Jason. Now. Jason stepped forward and took the fleece. It was heavier than expected. Its golden wool shimmered like living sunlight. For a moment, Jason simply stared at it. This was the treasure that had brought him across the world. He had done it. Jason and Medea ran back to the Argo. The Argonauts pushed away from shore. Behind them, King Aeetes discovered what had happened and sent his ships. The journey home became a desperate escape. They sailed through unfamiliar waters with enemies behind them. They had crossed the clashing rocks. They had survived fire-breathing bulls. They had defeated warriors born from the earth. And now, they had the greatest prize. They would not surrender it. They sailed beneath unfamiliar stars. They trusted their oars and one another. And at last, after a long voyage, the familiar shores of Greece appeared. The Argo had returned. Jason had returned, and in his hands was the Golden Fleece. He went before Pelias. "You asked for the fleece," Jason said. "I have brought it." But Jason soon discovered the truth. Pelias had never intended to keep his promise. The throne was still his. Jason had won the fleece. But he had not yet won his kingdom. That battle would come later. For now, the impossible journey was over. And Jason had learned something Pelias never expected. He had not won the Golden Fleece by strength alone. Heracles had given the voyage strength. Orpheus had given it music. Phineus had given Jason knowledge. The Argonauts had given him courage. And Medea had given him the help he needed when courage and strength were not enough. Jason had begun believing a hero was someone who could face the impossible alone. But the Golden Fleece taught him something different. Courage needs strength. Strength needs wisdom. And even the greatest hero sometimes needs someone beside him. Jason went looking for a Golden Fleece. But along the way, he discovered something far more valuable. No great adventure is truly won alone. Thank you for listening to Simple Tales. If this story took you on an adventure, please like, share, and subscribe for more timeless tales from around the world. Until next time. Courage is stronger when shared.